What's going on, family? Welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews. And today we're going to be discussing Evil Dead Rise, which is in the theaters right now. Did it check all the necessary boxes? Was it something that I expected? Was it something that I was looking forward to? Yes, and yes. I guess an apartment building can be a little more scarier than the forest or the medieval times, but this movie lacked a few things. But let's get into the positives, right? Evil Dead 2013 was obviously a movie that shocked the hell out of me to the core. When I saw it opening day in theaters, I remember I was blown away because I wasn't a huge fan of pretty much the original two. They were a little too, I don't know, campy for me. Army of Darkness, believe it or not, I'm in the category where I'm not too thrilled about those either. Although I love Bruce Campbell as Ash, I do like him a lot. But that one struck me too, where I watched it multiple times in the theater, meaning Evil Dead 2013. And needless to say, I was very intrigued at what this movie became even a decade later, and even what it can offer to a different kind of audience. I was able to attend an advanced screening in the city that year, and to a friend who was in the YouTube business, and I wasn't even in the YouTube business yet. But the gruesome brutality was clear. That's what people in this franchise want to see, right? I call it that carnage candy. You want to see gruesomeness. You want to see kills in very creative and effective ways. That's why you see horror movies. That's why I see horror movies. You want to check out once in a while. You want to see something fucking absolutely nuts, right? And Evil Dead gave that to us. And this is the sequel to Evil Dead 2013. And I think it was fresh to see. It was very reinvigorating. It was a new entry into the Evil Dead franchise, which works because it's basically one of those movies that it shows imagery that's very depraved. But this movie, to me, it lacked in times storytelling, character development. It's clear that the movie obviously didn't take itself too serious. Maybe somewhat of the wacky, dark comedy a bit as well is what takes the originals. But this film takes a classic franchise and it tries to brand it to this younger generation now. And I understand that's what the dollars are, but it can be at fault at times. And it can be a little conducive because at times it kind of meanders within a plain story, and then it kind of goes into the possession as we see, right? And I feel like all the while still providing shocking and these disgusting sequences, it doesn't provide too much value because then again, that's why I get upset with these trailers. I feel like the trailer gave away the best parts. That's why I wasn't shocked with a lot of the things that I saw in the film. I was expecting more, believe it or not. I was expecting things that I didn't see in the trailer. These trailers nowadays, man, they give too much. That's why I don't like watching the trailers. You know, sometimes you just want to see maybe 30 seconds or a minute and then just turn it off because they give too much away. I think this movie had a great blend of CGI and practical effects still being utilized. That really holds the film up to a very high standard. The SFX work to me was also top notch in this film. Unfortunately, I can't say that I enjoyed the cast and the way the characters were written. It has nothing to do with the actual actors. I think a lot of the actors did a really good job, especially the main actress. But unfortunately, I don't think the writing was written all that strong. I felt like sometimes it was kind of like a Netflix horror film, and based on the mediocre acting, as well as the cliched writing, didn't do the movie too much justice. And like I said, I'm gonna give a pass to the actors because the writing wasn't all that well, you know, and it takes a superb actor and actress to really bring more than what they see on the paper. And I don't know if the director, I don't know what happened there behind the scenes, but it felt kind of like a Netflix horror film in many ways. You know, there's some moments that you can't believe they would even put in an Evil Dead film. This is where a few times I was a little displeased, and I'm not gonna go in by spoiling anything. I want you to go see it for yourself. And I get trying to relate to a newer generation, but man, it was just too much overkill. Overall, this film brings the blood, obviously brings the scares. At the end of the day, that's what people are here to see. That's what we go to the movies for, to see that. Just sometimes I just can't help but think, but that it's just a dramatic overturn in quality from the 2013 film. The 2013 film stands alone. I thought they were really going to bring it with this film, but it wasn't all that bad as what I might be, spewing out. But if you're a fan of the franchise, it's definitely a must-see. But I think that there's going to be, if not already, some mixed reactions. I think you're going to have some that are going to really like it, like the huge fans of the franchise that we know that loved the whole apartment setting. But I liked the whole cabin and forest setting from the 13 movie. If you like Army of Darkness and you like that medieval time feeling, then this film might not be for you. The humor in this film was lacking. Sometimes you did need that humor, but it wasn't there. To be honest, the gore wasn't as relentless or shocking or as erosive as I thought, but it kind of reminded me of the Hellraiser remake that was released on Hulu not that long ago, or the recent Shudder original films that come on. The X Factor is clearly missing here. There was that something I was missing, and it'll take me some time to figure out exactly why, but overall, it's a good horror film. It's just not an awesome Evil Dead film. It was a little disappointing there. They gave a valiant effort to rebooting a franchise, which started with the 13 film, but they really brought it down here. Bringing it to LA, you thought that the atmosphere would have been a little more dark. It really wasn't. The incantations that they read through the vinyl weren't as scary as I figured that they would be, but overall the concept was good. That didn't surprise me at all. This was supposed to be originally really, really scary. It's supposed to be one of those movies that was actually going to go to streaming, and I think it was probably going to be better off on streaming. I felt like it should have been, because while the effects were solid and the gore was plentiful, it still felt kind of cheap. Perhaps not having any stars in it gives that impression, but the 13 one really didn't have a star in it. And I knew what I was expecting going in because of the trailers. And it purposely lowered my standard, ahead of time, because I kind of was prepared going into it without expectations. I wanted to be thoroughly surprised, and it just did not give me that. It's 50 minutes in, and I was kind of checking my watch, which I normally don't do. The actors tried, but the daughter had little to no range. The son looked lost. But some are going to call this insane. Some are going to call it excellently written. But I'm here to tell you that it's a 6 out of 10 for me. So, whether you agree with me or not, let me know. I look forward to going right back at you, man. And hope you enjoyed this review. Till the next one. Deuces.